Well, let's discuss this now, and we are joined by IFP Chief Whip, Mr. Narend Singh, who joins us via the virtual platform. Mr. Singh, good evening to you, and thank you for your time. I'd like to start this conversation with the comments from a statement that was issued by Parliament on behalf of the Speaker, and the words go, I quote, "The Speaker's commitment to serving the public with honour and integrity remains unwavering." How do you think the public should respond to that kind of statement on the back of the events that took place today?
Well, firstly, good evening to you, Mr. Mgambi, and to your viewers, and thank you for the opportunity. I think it's a very opportunistic statement to make, and I'm not surprised that the ANC Chief Whip and Parliament, who should represent all of us, has made the statement, because there's no doubt that Parliament in its statements are sometimes biased. But I would think that the honourable thing for the Speaker to do is to step aside while investigations are underway. And the reason I say that, because a raid on the house of the Honourable Speaker and the number of hours that they took to be there suggests that there was something wrong, although none of us can accuse her of any wrongdoing until it's proven beyond doubt in a court of law.
Before we talk about the Ethics Committee, we know that that is the arm of Parliament, if you like, where the Democratic Alliance has laid a complaint against the Speaker. The party that the Speaker belongs to, which is the ANC, it at times speaks about a member's own reflection about issues that surround them at whatever time in history. Do you think that the Speaker has the ability to introspect and perhaps look at this moment and say, in true form, to the words that have been quoted by the institution she leads, that she wants to lead with integrity? Do you think that that is something that she has the capacity to do, or she will do what her party instructs?
I think she should do what her conscience requires of her to do, because at the end of the day, it is the Honourable Speaker, and you would have heard on numerous occasions, pronouncing on members of Parliament who have violated the Code of Ethics. And in recent times, we've had a number of members that have been named, found guilty of various offences that they committed in terms of the rules. And I think for a person at that level to be still there presiding and making judgments on others is wrong, at this moment in time. And I just hope that good sense will prevail, that on her own, without any goading from her political party, that she feels that she should step aside, so that not to have a conflict of interest and interfere in any kind of investigations that are underway, either by the Ethics Committee or by any other law enforcement agencies.
We're winding down the conversation. Not so long ago, in fact, it was 2 days ago, that the Speaker sat side by side on the stage with the President whilst waiting to address a conference on human rights that has been organized by the South African Human Rights Commission. Do you think that it was correct of the President to be comfortable attending and addressing that gathering alongside someone who is under investigation for a very serious crime?
Well, we know the President has done a lot of things before that we don't agree with. He should have had, I think, the good sense to indicate to her that she should step aside. But I think the argument on the other side of the coin could be that she hasn't been found guilty of any offense or transgression of any law, and until she's proven guilty, then she remains, an honourable member. But having said that, and as I said earlier, it would be wise for her to step aside so that there's no interference with any investigation. And I think it's in her own interest that she does that. Otherwise, there could be assertions that she could or may interfere in any kind of investigation from within Parliament.
The Ethics Committee, that is the arm of Parliament where the Democratic Alliance has laid a complaint against the Speaker. Just talk us through what the normal process will be from here on.
Well, the process will be that the Ethics Committee will look at the charges or the assertions that have been made against the person of the Honourable Speaker, and they will have a full investigation. And normally, from my knowledge, they would have a sort of a prosecutor or an initiator to initiate the questioning of the individuals. That happened recently with some EFF members who were found guilty of bringing the House into disrepute, and there were sentences that were meted out to them. So a similar kind of process will follow, where there will be an initiator, and I suppose witnesses from all sides will come and testify on whether or not she should be found guilty or not.
As we conclude this conversation, Mr. Singh, it would seem, and I'm using these words very cautiously, it would seem that skeletons are beginning to tumble out of the Speaker's cupboard. And I'm saying this because there is the lingering matter of the salary of the Secretary of Parliament. And the understanding is that she would have been the determiner of that particular decision as to how much is paid to the Secretary. And the complaint thus far is that the amount that the Secretary of Parliament is being paid is exorbitant, and that has not been explained by the Speaker. And then you have these raids that have now been conducted against her. If she were to step aside, what would happen as leader of the legislative arm of the state? Because remember, we've got 3 arms of the state, and so she leads one of them.
Yeah, the Deputy Speaker would take over that responsibility, and I think we would understand what step aside means, whether she resigns from the position or she moves away from office. And one would think she should move away from holding that office while the investigation is underway. On the matter of the salary to the Secretary of Parliament, yes, I sat on the interviewing committee for the Secretary of Parliament, and we know that at the committee we had agreed on a particular package. And it came as quite a surprise when that package was substantially increased by the Office of the Speaker and the National Chair of the Council of Provinces. And that is something that's still under investigation.
Narend Singh, let me thank you very much for your time.